Hi there. I'm doing today's video on how to find designer handbags at the thrift stores. I'm not going to do a comprehensive video. I could probably do videos on each of the handbags and the style and designer I have here, but it's probably going to be more of like a quick elimination of the bags that are definitely not authentic. So there are some things to look for to just automatically discount fake bags right off the bat. One of my biggest tips, and I've got my own personal bag here, one of my biggest tips for any designer bag that has a pattern on it is if the pattern is centered and if it's perfect on every side. So I'm going to kind of walk up close here to you. This is my bag. This is the bag I carry all the time. It's a Louis Vuitton. And you can actually see on either side that the pattern is in exactly the same spot. And across the top, it's completely straight. You don't see one of these guys up here and then sort of kind of down here in the corner. Everything is nice. And even there's a Louis Vuitton completely and perfectly centered on this side. There's one on that side. And the stitching, and I'm going to put a photograph of an example of a perfect stitch like this, which you can see here, and one that has a double stitch that's incorrect. So you can sort of knock out that fake really quickly and try to figure out if you've got an authentic bag. If it's cheap enough, sometimes it's worth taking home and doing some research, but this should give you a quick guide to some quick ways to tell if it's real or not. All of Louis Vuitton bags have a serial number on the inside, and sometimes they're hidden. They'll be on the inside in the corners or at the bottom. And in this particular bag, it's stuffed full of stuff, so I'm not going to show you. But in this particular bag, there's a pocket, and inside the pocket in one of the corners is the serial number. And they're usually sort of pressed in or incised. I believe this one has an Alcantara lining, which is a little different. But in the ones that have the leather-coated canvas-coated leather, excuse me, they have it in gold. And you're not going to find a Louis Vuitton bag that doesn't have a serial number. So take your time, open it up, really look through all the spots where they're stitching and in the corners to see if you can find it. And if you don't find a serial number, don't buy the bag for sure. I have a couple of Gucci bags. And I can buy a Gucci bag. This Gucci bag isn't necessarily in the best condition, but I can buy a Gucci bag in just about any condition. And they always seem to sell. Obviously, these are going to be a lot less expensive, which is good. And sometimes it doesn't take a lot to make them look better. Polishing up the piping really helps, and all the leather bits that have some wear. Just polishing that up can make a world of difference. So don't pass up a designer bag just because it's not in perfect condition, because somebody might still buy it. This particular one, you've got your Gucci tag here on the inside. On the bottom, there is a serial number. You can see it on the back side here. You flip it over. That's usually where the serial number is for a Gucci bag. Gucci also did something called an accessories line. I think it was in the 80s. The accessory line has a different label. I'm going to show you this label. I'm going to come up close again. So this is the accessory line label. I'm going to try to zoom in on it. Hopefully it's not going to screw up when I go back over there, which I did in my last video. But you can see that it's kind of a gold lettering. Sometimes that lettering gets all messed up. This one does have a serial number, but sometimes that kind of comes off with age and use. So you may see a serial number on a Gucci bag, and you may not, especially if it's vintage. The newer ones are different, but I don't do newer bags, so we're not going to talk about those. You can also see how well the pattern is lined up here. Nothing's lopsided. It's completely straight. Looks like it's got, it's well made. That's another tip. If you find a bag and it looks kind of junky, or the metal, the fittings, the leather, if it doesn't look great, like if it just feels off, pass on it. Don't buy it. If it feels off and the quality doesn't look very good, then it's probably not and you shouldn't buy it. I do quite a bit of Coach bags. I stick to the leather ones because I can easily authenticate them. I have a harder time with the cloth bags, with the pattern bags, and I can't sell newer stuff like I just mentioned on Etsy, and I can with the leather bags. Most of them are older. All the hardware on a Coach bag is going to be brass. So the hardware should be nice. It may be scratchy and it may be patinaed. It may have a little brassy patina, but that's okay. You know it's real. And even if the bag looks kind of scratchy or scuffy, all that can be polished out. Coach actually sells a leather polish, but you can get a leather oil or conditioner, and that'll work too. On the inside, there's always going to be a big Coach tag, and I'm going to pop one of those, a photograph of that in. It should always be straight. There should never be misspellings. The serial number that's at the bottom there, you should always be able to pop that into your smartphone, and it'll give you a bag that looks similar, because all the bags that look the same have the same serial number in the bag itself. I buy them from all over. You know, the newer ones are made in China. They're made in the United States, excuse me. I think Puerto Rico, all sorts of places, but they're still authentic and they're worth buying, especially if you get them fairly inexpensively. The last one is a Prada bag. Excuse me, let me grab that. The best way to tell if a Prada bag is authentic is by the label. And I'm going to, again, pop a picture in there for you. It's the R on the Prada that is the key to whether or not a Prada bag is authentic. The Prada logo R is highly stylized. It's really narrow in the center and it comes out. It's not just a standard typeface R. That is the quickest way to knock out a fake. And I've actually used it myself probably half a dozen times. I've looked at the thing, I've gone, that R doesn't look right. And I don't buy it because if the R is not right, it's not a Prada bag. They also use a couple of different kinds of linings. And sometimes on the inside, there's a little tag with a number on it, but they haven't been doing that forever. So on some of the older bags, you don't find it. I also think people tear them out because they're not sure what it is. And sometimes it's like a 3. You know, it's not like it looks like a serial number. So you may find that number in a bag and you may not find a number in the bag. So I hope this stuff helps you out. I'm going to have a subscribe button to the left here, and there's another video that you can check out to the right. So please make sure you subscribe to my channel and check me out at Craigo and Alice on Etsy. Thank you.